Welcome, this is Brian Gibbons, and we're talking today about courses that I teach. We're going to stay on lease options right now because lease options are a wonderful tool to help you control property without using banks. We're going to talk about lease options when you buy and lease options when you sell. So going into lease options when you buy, a sandwich lease option is basically you being in the middle of a lease and an option, and then you sublease and sub-option. A lease option and a signing is where you enter into a lease and an option and you sell your paperwork, much like you sell a sale and purchase agreement in wholesaling. And master lease options with small apartment buildings, helping mom and pop operators fix their problem, and you can do a master lease and then have new leases where you're the master tenant and you sublease. Okay. How do you find lease option sellers? Well, first of all, you don't do it over the phone. That's very important. You go through our presentation training and how you talk to the seller and basically show them the cost to sell, and then you show them the risk that you have with just leasing the property out as a landlord, and then how does lease to own work. So you can make 3% on a lease option assignment. On the sandwich lease option, you make generally 3% and also cash flow on the difference in rents and the back end. We go through that in the training on sandwich lease options. The master lease option, you generally can pay a small option fee and then take over the basic management of the property as a master tenant. So that's lease options when buying. I think when you get a low equity deal, it's a quality property, you should look at lease options when you buy. Now, lease options when you sell. There's a couple of different ways that you can sell on terms. And depending on the state that you're in, you need to take a look at what do you need to do a lease with option. Sometimes a lease purchase is better than a lease option. The difference between a lease with option is the tenant buyer has a choice to buy. A lease purchase is a lease in a sale and purchase agreement, and that means that they have to buy or they're out their fee. Now there's a contract that's not well known. It's called a contract for option, where they don't actually get the option yet. It's like a contract for deed. So you have a lease, regular lease, and then you have a contract for option. This is a safer way to do a lease option or a rent-to-own arrangement with the tenant buyer. And another choice is a lease plus a right of first refusal, or a ROFR. And this is a very safe way to do rent-to-own, where somebody rents for a while and they have the right to buy that property first or refuse to buy it. And with the Dodd-Frank Act that's out there and the SAFE Act that's out there, I like to take a look at either number 2 or 3, depending on the state that you're in. So that ends our quick little consultation on courses that I teach regarding lease options. So when you buy, you're going to look at a sandwich or an assignment, or if it's an apartment building, you're going to look at a master lease. If you sell, depending on the state that you're in, you want to take a look at a regular lease plus option and their separate agreements, a lease plus contract for option, or a lease plus right of first refusal. Please call me at this number down here, 818-570-0840, and I'll be glad to talk to you about training on lease options. Bye for now.